Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private server Everlasting. We are with our Scrapper, Silver Phoenix, who is 48th level and needs 4.1 million XP to gain another level. She has 48 million influence. A little bit less than we had last time because I have gone through on her enhancements. And what did I do? I added another endurance reducer to evasion. This is a 5-slotted power now. And I added a fourth and fifth slot to elude and put the defense buffs on it. So now when I pop elude, we get a 67% plus 67% defense, which means you're going to go over 100 on these things. So we're working on our Malta missions, and this is Operation Worldwide Red, and this is Crimson, and he says he ran some checks on the information Friends gave us, and everything seems legit, but he's surprised that neither Indigo nor he caught any trace of what's going on. This makes it all the more important that we check out what's going on in the spy nest and investigate the connection between China and the Malta group. He does say I should bring some backup with me, so I've set the notoriety back down to 1 player, because if they're telling me that it's going to be for more than 1 player already, then I think level plus 2 is fine, but I think we'll keep it on just 1 player for now and see how it goes. We're going to go to Alice Park. So if you're wondering why I was hanging out right near this red dot, the red dot is here is Siren's Call. That is a PvP zone. I don't do PvP, but I've gotten almost every day job badge now except the ones in Pretoria. And Siren's Call and Darkest Story are the last 2 to do, or a PvP zone. So I just been logging out near the entrance. Hardly anybody uses it, so the chance of me getting PvP, PK'd, player killed, is pretty unlikely. It's pretty low, and I'm very close. I think I have like 10 or 12 hours to go. If we look under day jobs. Log out in a PvP zone. Where is that? Yes, we got 36 hours to go. It's going to take a couple days. Alright, so yes, I've been trying to slowly go through and pick up those badges. I don't know if I've shown this since I started recording again for this Season 5. If we look at our personal info here, we have 298 badges. So 2 more day job badges and I get to 300. Or another day job badge and any other badge. In terms of badges that are closest to completion, our closest to completion right now is to pay off 100,000 points of debt. And then if we earn 10 mission architect badges, or if we obtain a bunch of other following badges. So we have some work to do on getting badges, but we should get to 300 pretty soon, which is a pretty good number. Okay. So we have 2 clues to find and a base leader and his crew to defeat. These guys are all going to be Malta, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and use stealth. Oh, and one of the other things I did do too, because I hadn't done it before, is I put an endurance reducer in stealth, so now it costs 0.23 a second. So with these things costing so little, 0.15 a second for each, we're actually saving about 0.3 of an endurance per second, so we can afford to keep stealth on a little bit more. It does add a bit to our defense if we turn it off here. It adds like 4%, I think. If we look at the detailed info. 2% strength to defense on self. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this on. Can we take a look? Okay, there's a boss right there. A tactical operative. I don't see anybody else, so we should be okay to go on in. Finish this guy off really fast. And then we take the boss. Probably won't be able to knock him down, but we should be alright. And you will see how much more doable this is when we're not fighting double-sized spawns, right? If this were two-man mission, we would probably have something like 2 other minions here. And there's that many more blows that the boss gets to hit you with, or that they get to hit you with, before you take them out. 35,000 experience for this guy. There's a gunslinger. I'm surprised he doesn't have a minion with him, but that's alright. Yeah, it's a little... This is the problem. It's like a little too easy with just ×1 players for notoriety. The problem is, since they told me it's going to be a team-based mission, I didn't want to make it even worse. It may be that we know in the past that they've said you got to bring help and we haven't needed it. So it may be that they're just being a little paranoid, but or sometimes it's just, oh, there's some extra bosses in the mission, and individual bosses by themselves are nothing. The hard part is if they have 2 or 3 bosses in one place, that can, of course, be difficult. Okay. So we have nothing here, just that gunslinger. Oh, there's a little buddy. This one's just a lieutenant. These guys are +2, which is what I have asked for. So up to this point, this mission's being doing pretty much what I've asked it to do, ×1 +2. That's pretty much what we've gotten. Alright, so now we go to the elevator. Yeah, so I had a really interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and it went like this. We were talking about enhancement sets, and I said I really don't know what I want to put on the defense for this character, and he said, oh, you know, get like Luck of the Gambler. And I said, well, you know, I don't know, I don't know if I want to 6-slot things. Oh no, you don't 6-slot things. Anything with a recharge. He said, put the enhancement that does the proc. I said, enhancement that does a proc. Now, what's he talking about? So, and here's another boss. So a proc and a sapper. So we got to watch out for this guy. We're going to hit him first and hit him hard. So a proc, what's a proc? So in MMO terms, a proc is something that that triggers, I don't know why they call it proc, I'm sure it's short for something, but it's something that triggers every so often. So, for example, on Crane Kick, right, we have critical strikes, and every once in a while it will trigger an improved chance of a critical strike. And it tells you it can do this no more than, I think, twice a minute, and it lasts for a few seconds, and if it triggers, it's going to be hard to see here because he's so big, but if it triggers, you see the word critical strike go up over our heads in big red letters, and then there's a much higher chance of a crit. And of course it's not going to do it now because I'm talking about it, but there's a much higher chance of a crit if that thing triggers, right? So this thing that can trigger every so often is called a proc, right? So let me show you in critical strike, right? This here is a recharge / plus 50% critical chance proc, right? And then it says increases the attack rate and it increases the chance to critical hit for 50%. And it says this can only be triggered twice per minute, right, if you read the text. And so that's a proc. It's something that triggers every so often, right? So he told me, oh yeah, you should, even if you only have like a 1-slot power that has recharge, like rest, put a single Luck of the Gambler in and use the enhancement that's the proc. This would be something like, something. So this enhancement is a proc, right? It says even chance proc right there on the second line. These guys aren't, right? Because all they do is change damage, endurance, and recharge abilities, right? And so I'm thinking, what's he talking about? I've read Luck of the Gambler before. I'm not aware of any procs. So I went and looked, and I don't know exactly why he called it a proc, but Luck of the Gambler has the 6th enhancement in the set. Instead of doing for the power plus recharge plus endurance reduction plus defense, right? This is for defense powers. It does a global bonus, like it's got just a global bonus to recharge on every power you have by like 7% or something like that. And I said, oh, you mean the recharge buff? He said, yeah, if you put that on your, several of your powers, you get all this better recharge. And he said, you should get that for Silver Phoenix. You should especially, like, it's especially important for, oh, watch out. It's especially important for Super Reflex Scrappers. And I thought, what's he talking about? I'm not aware of any particular reason why Reflex Scrappers would need it, and in fact, Reflex Scrappers have the Quickness power, which is an inherent power that adds essentially a dual origin recharge enhancement to every single power you have. We got Quickness at level 20, I've had it all along. Now that can't be enhanced, right? But Quickness by itself gives plus 20% strength to recharge on yourself, so that's like having 3 of these recharge enhancers from Luck of the Gambler slotted in your defense power. Like, what do I need it for? I already have Quickness. And he said, well, recharges are always better. And essentially, and he really emphasized you need it as a Reflex Scrapper. And I'm thinking, this is weird. If you look at my powers, right? Focus Fighting, Agile, Focus Senses, Quickness, Dodge, Lucky, and Evasion. 7 of the 9 don't need recharge because they're either toggles or they're auto. They're permanent. Right? So I thought, why would he be saying especially super reflexes? But I didn't really get a chance to ask him because we were doing other things, and I sort of dismissed it, and I didn't really think about it. And I said, okay, he must have had a reason. I didn't really think about it, and I'll read the clue in a second. And then I thought, okay, as I started looking at the power, at the enhancements, I said to myself, I don't understand. Why would you say that I especially need it as a Reflex Scrapper? Uh-oh. Well, we got lucky there. This guy's really hitting me a lot. So, oh, he's +3, that's why. And so, I said, I don't understand. Why would you need that? So I finally cornered him on it the next time we played. And I asked him, I said, why did you say that I needed it as a Reflex Scrapper? And he said something like, well, recharge is always good. You always want to have recharge, right? And I said, okay, I agree, but that's true for every character. Why especially Super Reflex? I pointed out to him that I have the Quickness power, that I have very few click powers in my defenses, and my attacks recharge really fast. So why would I need that? We may die here. Why would I need that as a Reflex Scrapper, that extra recharge? And he said, well, you need it for Elude, basically. It's, for your tier 9 defense power, so that it recharges faster. Because it's an awesome power. And I said, well, sure, but an invulnerability tanker has Unstoppable, or Scrapper. A regen Scrapper has Moment of Glory. A shield Scrapper has, or tanker has something similar. Every defense set has something that is a panic power that you can click on, and that it doesn't last as long as it takes to cycle. So then you have a crash and it goes down, and then it comes back up again. And so I said, I don't understand, why would you think that Reflex needs it more? And he said, well, I mean, he really didn't have a good reason why. He just said, well, you should have it. Like, everybody should have it. Okay, but, and there's Moment. So this guy again. Interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to probably get Luck of the Gambler. I'm going to probably 6-slot it. I will probably slot that quote-unquote proc that does the bonus. But I'm not getting it for the recharge. I'm getting it because the 6th bonus is plus Toxic and Psionic resistance, and it will get my Toxic and Psi resistance up to like 18%. in addition to what I have here, and that's why I want it. I want it for the resistances, not for the recharge. And the recharge is fine, I don't mind having the recharge. But we certainly don't. I mean, look at this character. Do we need recharge on this character? Look how fast my powers... I have 2 or 3 attacks up at all times. Look how fast they recharge. So, I don't know. It was an interesting conversation because he started out saying, well, you really should have it as a super reflex scrapper. And then, as time went on, and we were talking about it, he was like, well, everybody should have it. Okay, that's fine, but then why do I need it as a reflex scrapper in particular? So, anyway... materials request form. We found an email on a computer in a Malta group base. It requests a new supply for several rare radioactive isotopes from Dr. Lamar's work to help regulate the bloom rate. After the request, the authors spend several paragraphs complaining about how Dr. Lamar has become harder to manage as Project Wildflower draws to near completion. Interesting. Okay. So we found the leader, who was Moment again. Maybe the other guy wasn't Moment? I don't know. And then the last clue is over here somewhere. Yep. And we found the last clue. 2 more clues. Strange medication. So we found some bottles of strange pills inside a Malta base. They're metallic gray in color. The instructions on the bottle are to take the pills after being exposed to a bloom to prevent infection. And then, after we defeated him, one of the Malta group soldiers said, we don't know about any China connection. Director 17 just told us to move operations here to here, oops, and wait to take you out when you showed up. We know every move you're making, Silver Phoenix. You might as well give in to our control and join the winning side. So, interesting. No enhancements. I found lots of salvage as I go, but no enhancements. I've been in like an enhancement drought for 8 levels or something. Just, I don't know, the last 7 or 8 levels I find almost no enhancement. I don't know if it's just because it's making me find more salvage and recipes. I just don't know. Okay, let's call Crimson. And he says, I just checked. And yeah, Moment escaped just hours before you got there. That's too much luck. Malta's watching you. Every coin has 2 sides, though. Now we know that whatever they're planning, Malta's worried about you getting closer to it. This wasn't a total wash. You got some valuable information. I'll check into the contents of those pills that might tell us what they were designed to protect against, which could tell us what Project Wildflower is all about. These isotopes could be a lucky break. They're radioactive and traceable. I'll get Indigo on it quick. Knowing what to look for could lead us right to Dr. Lamar and Project Wildflower before it's too late. The last thing is a question that we can't answer yet. Is Ferenz being played by Malta? If so, is that part of Operation Worldwide Red? I'll let you know when the first of any of these leads pans out. We're close. Just hope we can get there in time. And then he says, Jack Ferenz's information may not have turned up a connection between Malta and China, but it did end up giving us a way to find Dr. Lamar and Project Wildflower. Indigo took the list of isotopes you found and was able to trace them to Malta lab codenamed Omnivore Red 1. What is it, all these biological references? Hidden in some caves under the city. I wonder if they're going to have Devouring Earth in here. I've confirmed through my own resources that for Project resources for Project Wildflower, somebody needed to rewrite this, were sent to the same base. Logically, the next step is to send you to this base to check out Project Wildflower. Make no mistake, Silver Phoenix, Malta is not going to give up this project easily. All the information we've gathered tells us that this base is going to be defended by some hardcore commandos. I recommend you call in the reserves. Okay, well, we didn't have to use reserves last time when he recommended it, so we should be fine. Since I am here, and I'm a little short on the inspirations I want, I'm going to just take a quick hop to the hospital and just purchase a couple of heal inspirations, because as you saw that last time we almost died because I didn't have another heal. That is probably the biggest weakness of Super Reflexes. Almost every other defensive set has some sort of a quick heal, like Energy Aura, and so forth. And Super Reflexes does not have that. So that makes it a little tough. I think we're going to go one extra green. We do have Conserve Power for the Endurance drop in case a Sapper gets us, which can help us in a pinch, and we also can fire a loot in a pinch, which doesn't need, you know, if all our toggles drop, you can hit a loot and you're immediately defended. And in fact, Elude will be better than all of our toggles and passives combined, as it has now been, the way it has now been enhanced. Alright, so we need to go to Founders Falls, and we will see if we can stop the Wildflower agents, and we'll do that mission, and then I will stop. So it's interesting, to get to 49 you need about 4.2 million. I guess you need 5 million XP to get to 50. I'm not sure if they made it a round number or what. It'll be interesting to see. You could probably, I mean, I could easily look it up on the Wikipedia. Oh, and speaking of Wikipedia, so there's the Paragon Wiki, right? And that was around for years and years. That was information about City of Heroes. It's still up, and you can still look information up, and most of it's correct. But there's now a note on the Paragon Wiki that this wiki is not geared toward the Homecoming servers. It's geared toward the live game, and they have nothing to do with this stuff. So I guess any changes that are made are going to have to be stored somewhere else. I'm not sure if anybody's setting up a Homecoming wiki. I haven't seen anything like that. A little bit of lag there. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if what shakes out with that, and if anybody decides to sort of pick up that ball and run with it. And no, it won't be me. It will not be I guess I should say. I'm not doing that. Alright, so Sapper first. Stunned him, took him out. Alright, and then we don't need stealth here. Mostly just wanted to make sure the Sapper didn't see me and shoot at me before I could take him out. And the Operations Engineer, he's going to get his auto turret out. It always takes me just a little too long. Oh, maybe I did stop him. It almost always takes me just a little too long to get them. The Operations Engineers before, you know, it's almost impossible to stop them from pulling out that auto turret. And especially when you have a group of them, because there's no real way to know which one is going to drop to one knee and try to pull it out. Usually it's the one nearest to you, but not always. And I think if you hit the one nearest to you before he drops to one knee, then one of the other ones will drop to one knee. So like this guy, if I hit him before he drops to one knee, I think one of these two will drop. Let's try it. No, he tried to drop to one knee, so they won't do it now. So yeah, you can stop him. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. Okay, they're taken care of. There is a boss right there. QR support unit. Is there anybody over here? Yes, there's a couple guys over here. And then a guy over there. Alright, so we're going to have to put up with the auto turret and taunt this guy out. He's going to drop to one knee. There's nothing we can do about that. But then they'll come over to us. They were too close to that boss. Yeah, here comes the auto turret. So we got two of the Operations Engineers there. This thing takes a much more of a pounding than the guys. And the other one did an auto turret also. Let's go ahead and pop a luck. Take this thing out. There's Chi, Dragon's Tail, then finish him. And now it's just me and the boss. should be alright here. He's +2 instead of +3, so he won't hit me as much. Yeah, one of the sort of things that makes setting it on +2 or higher a little difficult is, for instance, +2 bosses are already purple. So you can't tell from looking at the boss if he's more than +2 by looking at the color. You got to look at the level, and I don't always think to do that. Nope, the other guy took a knee. So, yep, this guy was the closest, but the farthest one took a knee this time. Yeah, again, there's really not much you can do about it. I don't have a big enough AoE range to take them all when they're standing that far apart either. Got some salvage. Again, like with any lab, this could be up to 5 levels, so this might be a very long mission. It absolutely will be the last mission I do tonight. I suspect there'll be an elevator on the other side of this door. Yeah. So we need to stop Wildflower agents and rescue Dr. Lamar. My guess is Dr. Lamar will be on the last level, whatever level that is. Let's see. Don't see anybody else here. There's an NPC talking. QR support. Or OR support unit. Okay, so that's going to be another boss. There we go. Okay. Let's see who's over here. And there is a Titan by himself. So that should be no problem. And they go down so much faster than the bosses. I mean, they should, right? They're lieutenants and not bosses, but just the difference is quite striking. That's okay. We have another elevator over here to the south. And there's the other boss. Okay. Okay, we got him. Wow, they hit really quite accurately. And they do massive damage. 2 hits. Basically, it does about 35 to 40% of your hit points in one shot. There's no knocking it down either. So this shows you, for example, how much help the Mez, not the Mez, how much help the, yes, the mezzing that we do, the soft control, is. Okay. Not too bad. Back to the same room. And this is probably going to be a dead end here because there's not a lot of room on the map. And it is. Okay, so now we're going to go south to the next level. We're on level 2, so that'll be the 3rd level. Potentially out of 5. Don't know. Bosses are 35,000 experience. That is an awful lot. Remember when we started, we needed 4.1 mil. We've gotten like 500,000 XP in 2 missions. And some of that's just because of the patrol XP. And some of it's just because having several bosses in a mission dramatically increases the XP gain. Right, because each boss is worth almost as much as the mission itself. Okay, this room is terrible to just walk into. So I'm going to have to taunt this guy out. And the boss will come with him, which is fine. Wow. They're just hitting me like crazy. I have to take a look at what... Oh, he's 51. See, that's the thing. You see a purple boss, and, you know, unless you think to look at the number, purple looks the same, right? Whether it's +2 boss or +3 boss. There's the critical strike proc. And so I don't always realize that that extra +1 level to that boss gives him a much higher chance to hit. Okay, that took him out. 46,000 XP. So what was his chance to hit me? 10%. Without the luck, would have been about 22%. Alright, so these guys are fine. But that's why I didn't just walk straight in, because if I'd had to fight these two guys plus an auto turret on top of that boss, that would have been brutal. You see, this guy's purple. My first thought is boss, but no, it +3, lieutenant is purple. Right? And if you're fighting +4s, lieutenants are purple, minions are purple, right? Because it goes yellow, orange, red, purple. So everything's purple, so then you can't use the purple color to warn you that something is potentially dangerous, right? Because it's all purple. And that's one of the reasons I really kind of don't like going too far up in, you know, level above you that the mission is, because once everything's purple, then you can't use the con for any information. Now you have to look at the actual level to see what level these guys are, and I just don't always think to do that. Whereas, you know, if you're fighting +2s, right, a +2 minion is orange, right, a +2 lieutenant is red, and a +2 boss and elite boss is purple, so you can immediately tell from color what level, what rank they are. Right, but once they start going to +3, +4, you can't tell from color what rank they are. Right, and a red engineer that is a minion is nowhere near as dangerous as a red lieutenant. Right, they're different because of their ranks. So constantly doing +4s definitely kind of makes the conning system almost irrelevant, you know. That's one thing to be aware of if you're doing these high-level missions where it's a lot higher than your level. You know, +3s and +4s, you're going to get a lot of purples and reds. You're not going to see any oranges or whites or yellows, and so then you can't use the color of the con to really tell you anything. Alright, so we're going to have to bypass... Oh! Who's over there? That's the main boss. I think we can fight him without aggroing the other guys. So I'm going to go after him right now. I don't think those guys are going to get involved. But these guys will get involved, which is annoying. And there's a sapper, so we've got to get him. Yep. Alright. So we should be okay now. Got a clue, and now where is this guy? Alright. So here's the boss. You can take a look at his hit rolls. Even with a luck running, what's his chance? 15%. At least these guys aren't resistant to knockback, so that helps an awful lot. Alright, that took him down. Don't need all of that. And of course that guy is the one who took a knee, because it's always the one I don't hit. Well, it's usually the one I don't hit, let's put it that way. So we rescue the Dr. Lamar. Now we just have to stop all the Wildflower agents. And I guess that means clean out the rest of this level. And possibly another level. I don't know how many levels we have here. Alright, so that's taken care of. We got this area here. So my guess is there's a room back here with some guys in it. Yep, I can hear them. Oh, Sapper. Get the Sapper, hurry up. Oh, that stinks. Right, let's pop a loot. This way they can't hit me. Yep, we don't need our toggles with a loot running. 83% defense. That's a loot plus the passives, plus whatever other bonus. Now we can start turning them back on, so I don't forget. Look at that, now I have like 100% defense. That is awesome. Everything's floored. Right, a +4 Archvillain would be floored. So now we may as well use our loot bonus and power through the rest of this mission. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Of course, I didn't get him in time because I overran him because of the loot. Oh, how many auto turrets can they summon? Yeah, so this is me and Scrapperlock just being like, okay, I got a loot on, so they really can't hit me. I mean, we know they can, right? Because I've floored bad guys before and been hitting 2 or 3 times in a row with rolls of like 2 and 1. Or 3 and 2 or whatever. Right? There was one time where I had somebody floored and he rolled an 0.1 or a 0.01 or something. Yeah, you can't do anything about that. You can see how awesome Elude makes us, and you can see with this why Scrappers used to try to do perma-loot. Right, keep it running permanently. We have about a minute. At around the 4-minute mark, it expires, so we gotta watch out. But we're alright for the time being. Oh, I keep doing that. So of course he's gonna pull an auto turret. Got about 15 seconds left. We're gonna just have to wait. Turn off the toggles. Because they're about to drop. 2, 1, there it goes. Now we gotta wait 20 seconds. So when this hits, basically when this hits 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we can rest. So what my friend was talking about with the recharge is if I put Luck of the Gambler on 3 different powers with that recharge bonus, this will probably be down to 3 minutes and 35 seconds or something. I mean, it's a panic power that you can only use occasionally, right? The extra 20 or 30 seconds really doesn't matter that much. It's not like you can stack it, right? It used to be you could stack it, but even with Hasten, you can't do that anymore. Right, because you needed to have 6 slotted both Hasten and Elude with recharges to get it to work like that, and you can 6 slot them, but it won't do you any good anymore. So we shouldn't need Elude anymore, and we just have, looks like 1 guy. We'll see. And that's the mission. Alright. So, Dr. Lamar said, I'm glad to see you, Silver Phoenix, but I wish you'd arrive sooner. Wildflower is complete. They're going to release it. I can't believe this is happening. When these men first came to me, they were disguised as members of the government. Everything checked out. They said they wanted to see if my nanocology could be adapted for all kinds of uses. I was so excited. It was supposed to be a top secret government research position. By the time I realized they weren't with the government, it was all too late. Oh, I should have just made them shoot me rather than let this happen. My original idea, you see, was to make a kind of artificial symbiotic ecosystem. That's nonsense. It is nonsense. Symbiosis is nothing to do with ecosystems. That's a nonsense phrase. Sorry guys, I'm a biologist. So anyway, it would have been so neat. It was designed to stay within defined borders, police its own growth, and not interfere with normal life. You wouldn't even be able to see it. All the while, it could collect pollutants or even build things. I figured it was decades away, but what a thing to devote your life's work to. But these people, they wanted to reprogram the nanocology into a weapon, something they could have spread invisibly over the entire world and then activate any time to kill any target. Invisible, distributed global assassin. That's Project Wildflower. They were going to start by killing powerful heroes they're afraid they can't control. They had samples on files of thousands of heroes and can kill them all with the press of a button. The biggest mass hero death since the Richty War, and it would all be my fault. The development on the Wildflower project is already over, Silver Phoenix, but it's not too late to stop them. I know where they've set up the nano breeders. I can help you get there. If we can reset the Wildflower nanites to disassemble each other, we can snip Wildflower off at the bud before it blossoms. Alright, well, it's science babble. It's what she's describing is not symbiosis, but that's okay. Alright, so we have to stop Project Wildflower in Boomtown, but we'll do that in another episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We got 2 beats in this episode. Remember, we started with 4.12 XP needed. Who's attacking me? Oh, giant monster. No. Not fighting a giant monster. We started with 2... surely that wasn't an ambush with a giant monster, right? We started with 4.12 million, something like 17 million XP needed. We had 3.3, so we gained almost a million XP with 800,000 XP in that one mission. That's pretty darn cool. Alright guys, I'll see you next time on City of Heroes.